Hi. So I'm probably going to I had the day off, but my mind is on overdrive right now. Um, I'm just thinking about different things. Uh, yeah. So I watched the video about um, Generation Alpha and the struggles that teachers are going through and teaching these kids. And first of all, I think the entire education system in this country is pure crap and needs to be destroyed. The foundation is all based on the Rockefeller agenda, which is pure brainwashing. Um, yeah, so the struggle, and then with AI and technology coming into being, most kids are just saying, what's the point? What's the point of learning basic mathematics and reading and basic things like that, which is crazy. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about right now is entertainment. Entertainment. And I think, because I had the day off and I was thinking about seeing a new movie called Obsession, uh, which is getting good ratings, but so lately with movies, I debate whether I'm going to invest an hour and a half of my life into being entertained if I'm not learning something, if I'm not being inspired. Yeah, and I think as a society, we're at a saturation point in entertainment. How much more fucking entertainment do we need? There's so many trash movies. There's so much trash social media. Yeah, I'm ranting. Between TikTok, I mean, God, we're just at a saturation point, as humanity. And the original definition of entertain means to keep or to hold, or what is it? To keep one's service, to engage the attention, to keep, hold, or maintain in the mind. So yeah, there's I want to encourage people to, especially in this day and age, we have to keep our minds healthy. We really have to keep our minds healthy. There's so much crap, so much saturation of entertainment and pure crap that just want to hijack our attention and our mind. And that's why the world is in the place it is right now. That's why, yeah, I don't want to get into politics. This is not my channel is not about politics. It's about engaging your mind into deeper things that really matter. And again, I'm so surprised how many YouTube videos get millions and thousands of views just from people wanting to be entertained with short attention spans. It's one entertainment after another. So yeah, with this with this book by David Hawkins, I am learning. I'm learning a lot. It's phenomenal, and I am gonna later on in the day, probably I am gonna do a deep dive into apathy, into the realm of apathy, which I think is a major problem in society, probably due to the saturation level of entertainment in our world. So yeah, I've just been learning about the ego through this book and basic psychology. And maybe I'm an oddball. Maybe, I went from growing up and the basic crap that I learned in public education, going to high school, public schools in Maine, and then going to Syracuse University, and what I was studying then was architecture. So I focused on architecture back then. And then from there, I went straight into a cult, into a commune. I guess, I don't know if most people would call a commune a cult, but what I was in was definitely a cult because it was religious. And that group, I spent probably over 20 years in that group. And the whole focus of that was just the Bible. And the Bible was written by the popes. It was created by the popes in order to control people. That's my conclusion after being immersed in the Bible for like 20 some odd years. Yeah. So again, going back to education, I'm 55 years old and I am just getting into the basics of what I believe education should be, which is biology. Over the past couple years, I purchased college textbooks of biology and human anatomy and physiology and psychology, like the best college textbooks that they have on these topics. And that is just phenomenal. This stuff, let alone history, needs to be being taught to children, like progressively as they understand these things, not just fucking college textbooks. This stuff needs to be really detailedly, specifically taught, because this knowledge is just being lost. And I recently read this quote. So Socrates said, "All men are intrinsically innocent, but they cannot discern truth from the false illusion of the world." And that is that's based on your ego, on a person's ego, that the ego is unable to discern from truth and falsehood, which is really dangerous in society nowadays, especially with all these fiction movies that are out and just the inundation to the I would call it the attack on the mind of humanity. And I've been learning the 3 parts of the psyche from Freud, which is the id, or desires, the unconscious primitive mind, the pleasure principle of humanity, of your mind, of your psyche. The second is the ego, or reality, the conscious mind interacting with the world, or the reality principle. the things that are socially acceptable, and I'll paraphrase, the part of your mind that adopts to the illusion of the world. And number 3 is the superego, which is morality, your conscience, your internalized moral standards. Yeah, and this is stuff most people they don't know these things. I mean, let alone me. Again, maybe I'm an oddball. Maybe everyone knows these things. Yeah. So anyways, I'll be back. In another quote, we become what we believe. I keep hearing that. We become what we believe. So that's my rant. And yeah, I just wish, the only purpose of entertainment to me is to inspire people, is to really inspire people to make right choices, especially in today's society, lest we become zombies. So, all right, I'll see you later.